Hello and welcome, beautiful souls. This is Pauline Marie, and welcome to the Capricorn New Moon in January 2026. In the spirit of new beginnings, I am going to be offering these activations a little bit differently. It's evolving for me as we are all evolving. And this will be a part one as an activation. And it's kind of titled an energetic tune-up. So this is the new beginnings. This is this explanation or this understanding of order arising from chaos. And here chaos actually also being order. So let's begin. We're at 28 degrees, 44 minutes of Capricorn with this new moon. The number reduces to 9. The number of birth itself. This is no small synchronicity here. We are witnessing this universe birthing itself. The sun and moon are always conjunct at a new moon. And currently, Neptune is at the final degree of Pisces, so the final degree of the water sign until January 26th. This is the very last degree of the zodiac, and Neptune will not return to Pisces again within our human lifespan. This signifies the complete ending of an old cycle, the dissolution, collapse of the old, if you will. Neptune in Pisces is deeply connected to the seas, and here to the primordial waters, the cosmic ocean, found throughout mythology. These waters symbolize the source of all life and potential, from which the earth and the entire cosmos arise. This is reflected in the ancient Egyptian concept of Nun, N-U-N, where the act of creation often involved establishing an inhabitable space separate from the enveloping waters. In ancient Egyptian cosmology, Nun was not simply water in a physical sense. Nun represented the primordial, the undifferentiated state of existence, the infinite, formless potential that exists before creation. It was boundless, dark, silent, and without direction. Everything that could exist was contained within Nun, but nothing had yet taken shape. Creation in these myths did not mean making something out of nothing. Instead, it meant differentiation, the act of separating form from formlessness. So the emergence of order from Nun was the first act of creation as an appearance, if you will, of a mound of land. It was often called the Ben-Ben, B-E-N, and rising out of the waters of Nun. This was a crucial symbolic moment. The mound represented stability, orientation, and grounding. It created a habitable space, a place where life, order, and consciousness could arise. It marked the transition from the chaos of Nun to the cosmos of Ma'at, M-A'-A-T, the symbol of the scales of balance, or of the justice. Without this separation, nothing could live, act, or become known. The waters of Nun were total and enveloping, and if everything remained submerged within them, no distinctions could exist. No sky, no earth, no beings, no movement towards purpose. So, we have to look at creation as sacred boundary making. This is why creation myths emphasized separation, just like Sophia separating from God in the Gnostic texts. This is water from land, sky from earth, order from chaos, known from unknown. To create was to set boundaries, was to carve out a space where life could breathe and unfold. So, it was not destroyed. None contained the existence beneath and around creation. Chaos was never eliminated. It was contained. This is profound insight for the times we are in. Creation is not about erasing chaos, but holding it at bay through conscious structure. This is what's happening through these planetary alignments. And I am referring to them as planetary wave activations. The act of creation, whether building a civilization, a ritual, or the self, the true self, it requires rising out of that inner water and establishing identity, intention, direction, and meaning. In this sense, every act of conscious living mirrors the original creation myth. Each time you establish clarity, values, or purpose, you are symbolically raising land from the waters of none. You guys didn't know how powerful you were. Why this still matters? The ancient Egyptians understood that life depends on a delicate balance. Too much order becomes rigid and lifeless. Too much chaos devolves structure entirely. The Nun was always present, just as the Nile's floodwaters were both dangerous and life-giving. Creation was a continuous process, not a one-time event. Order had to be renewed daily through ritual, awareness, a right relationship with the unseen forces beneath reality. In essence, the myth teaches that true power lies in consciously shaping space within the infinite. So life, meaning, and soul can emerge. So let's continue this activation with more astrology. This is the shift into an Aquarian age, the Aquarian energy, the age of Aquarius, as Capricorn and Aquarius together are launching this age of Aquarian energy beginning in February. This is extraordinary, especially with Pluto entering Aquarius. Whenever inequality becomes too great, Pluto shifts signs. Pluto moves now into Aquarius when structures are no longer operating in harmony with natural law, with the master blueprint, if you will, or with God's plan, or as spoken earlier, the order arising from none. A phase shift occurs when severe imbalance causes frequencies to fragment or vibrations to become disproportionate. This is accelerated by high-frequency light from the sun, your solar flares, allowing both humans and Gaia the necessary purging and cleansing to support new activations, alignments, coded energy entering matter. Moonlight always assists by illuminating the shadow for purification, transcendence of the mind, emotions, and consciousness. So on January 20th, Venus and Pluto form an exact conjunction at 3 degrees of Aquarius. This speaks to change around money and currency, or what is in flow in life. We are birthing abundance in its natural state, the natural state of universal love, the original God frequency. New values are emerging, rooted in love. Uranus and Taurus is not only about money as currency, it's about values, it's about abundance as an infinite aspect of divine sacred order aligned with love. Collectively, we are birthing new values. Uranus in Taurus supports abundance, not only as material wealth, but as health, joy, spiritual gifts, family, purpose. Aligned with your personal blueprint and the master blueprint of the new. This now marks this transition from chaos, none, to cosmos, Mayat, where abundance falls under a universal law of conscious order, if you will. This is structure building sustainability for human evolution and Gaia. We will see Venus and Mars remain here in conjunction in equidistance from the sun. This is to maintain the balance that has been newly birthed between the divine feminine and divine masculine energies. So that whatever is being born at this new moon seed point is born in harmony with that universal love, that humanitarian love through Aquarius. This originally birthed love beyond personal 3D perception of love. This conjunction supported by a massive 6-planet alignment in Aries and by a special influence from the fixed star Sheet, S-H-E-A-T. This supports these reconfigurations through the primordial waters. Sheet functions as a threshold force, a catalyst. And traditionally, Sheet, the star, is associated with misfortunes of the seas. Here, the seas represent the unconscious that must become conscious. Sheet does not destroy, it withdraws support from false coherence so that true coherence can emerge. With Capricorn relating to the past and Aquarius to the future, together they form an energy, a frequency, a clear intersection of past and future. Capricorn governing that traditional hierarchical top-down structure, while Aquarius reveals this new fluid structure aligned with truth and natural law. It's like this perfect harmonic sharing of these frequencies blended together. So with the influence of the new moon here, whatever seeds we are planting emerge from the master blueprint. It's like the breath of the cosmos, God's blueprint, God's breath. This is not something that we manage or even micromanage. This is something that unfolds within. Think of this like an orchestra playing this vast new harmonic resonance that we hear and that we feel. So again, on January 20th, the Venus-Pluto conjunction at the 3 degrees Aquarius speaks to this deep change around those currencies of money, but currencies of our own life. The Aquarian frequency, Aquarian is a water bearer, but it's an energy, it's an air sign, it's a frequency. So it's linked to truth. And then when we have Mercury and Pluto in hard aspects, these are deeply hidden secrets that can surface. This brings powerful revelations. We also have the annual Sun-Pluto conjunction. It's carrying frequencies of power, freedom, human rights, and civil rights. This is Aquarian energy, demanding greater equality and revolutionary force. Why is this happening now? Because imbalance has reached an extreme. When inequality becomes too great, Pluto shifts into Aquarius as structures cease to operate in harmony with natural law. The tipping point's reached, the phase shift begins. It's accelerated by this high frequency solar galactic support, our cleansing, the release of old patterns, an energetic tune-up. It marks a major transition. We're going to see the outer planets move from earth and water signs, and soon all of them will be in air and fire signs, carrying frequencies that are fast, clear, vigorous energies of truth and freedom. It's a completed cycle, a shift into a higher octave. Once the shift begins, it's unstoppable, as enough of humanity's consciousness has reached coherence with the universal consciousness. This is alchemizing 3D reality, meaning kind of embodiment of this new consciousness. And it happens as naturally as the opening and closing of a rose. It's in alignment through choice, though, as free will, but also through this natural experiencing. Catalysts here are here to evolve us. They always have been, but this is expressed in that energy of Sheet, the star, that creates this fresh threshold, this catalyst. We're welcoming catalysts as a natural part of a soul-led life versus an egoic-led life. The ego here can be a subtle distractor, keeping old programs and identities running, so I invite you into deeper exploration. The soul now needs to be in the driver's seat. It's operating from the I am. It's rooted in unity. This is seeing everything as the neutral observer, so that when we take on an identity, as stated earlier, we are creation itself taking on an identity. However, now it's the identity of the soul, the soul's purpose, the higher soul. It has intention, it now has direction, it has meaning that aligns with our soul purpose, our soul blueprint. It's not identity seeking outside of itself, looking for external validation. This is a critical, if not the shift, as the ego is not the enemy. It's not just something that, we have to eliminate. We've just misidentified with it. We've overemphasized. And collectively, it has led to the imbalance. So this is a very important concept to embody now. As I still feel the collective awakening into 5D, grasping, trying to operate from external validation or from a blueprint that is not fully activated. It is completely understandable. I am in this as well. As the ego wants us to operate from safety. So the rapid change that we will be experiencing is by design. It's to point us to this very lesson. And I will link in the description box a very gifted channeler. Her channel is called Transcendent Tarot. I will link her YouTube video that deepens support and clarity around the ego. She was actually in Egypt when she filmed the reading, sitting outside the Sphinx. So what a beautiful synchronicity here, back to ancient Egypt wisdom. So this is happening for humanity and for Gaia. And as the two overlapping realities have been activated, the old 3D and the higher 5D and beyond, the key is learning to navigate between them until you choose to fully dissolve the 3D in your lived embodied reality. So therein lies some deep truths from the ascended masters, whom spiritual frequencies are working within us. And Jesus speaks here. And I believe his teachings were misunderstood, yes. and suppressed, yes. Many of his teachings were about consciousness and movement between densities, timelines, and octaves. It was supported through partnership with the divine feminine wisdom. His teachings were liberations of the soul, taking us into the next evolution of human design. He mapped a path for those who are ready. When Jesus said in John 14:6, I am the way, the truth, and the life, no one comes to the Father except through me. This was not about external salvation, but about inner realization, returning home to the divine within, not as a place in the sky, but as a state of being in union with divine consciousness and living according to natural law. So as we evolve, they evolve. These dimensions or these octaves, they'll always exist. We're forming new harmonic resonances. Our heart coherence evolves with them. Energy never dies. It transcends. It transforms. We are connected to it all. So no thing or nothing is separate. I thank you so much for being here, and I send you much love. And please be looking for part 2 of this new moon in Capricorn, which will be about the alchemy of this activation. So the embodiment of the energetic tune-up. Thank you so much. And again, much love.